an end of an era for Barca?
The end of an era in terms of guys like Andres Iniesta. He cannot do it anymore.
It's only a matter of time before it's Messi to City and Neymar to United.
Well, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Alright, so what did we just witness exactly? This game was extraordinary. 6 goals to score to get through, 3 in the last 5 minutes. Grown men were crying, the manager was on the pitch, Michael Owen went to catch his bus. It was probably the most dramatic comeback in Champions League history. Meanwhile, in Manchester. But alright, so it was one hell of a comeback, but let's be honest, PSG were an absolute disgrace. Unai Emery has won 2 Europa Leagues now. He's supposed to know how European football works. I said after the first leg that Barcelona left their midfield on the plane. Jesus, I think PSG must have left their legs at home this time. And their brains on the kitchen counter as well. I mean, Christ. As soon as Suarez scored after 3 minutes, the Parisians just started to play as if Bob Bradley was the manager. Running around in circles, no game plan. Honest to God, one of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen from a Champions League team. Arsenal were playing Bayern Munich this week, so naturally they lost 5-1. I mean, you didn't think they'd actually put up a challenge, did you? I mean, come on. The fans also came out to voice their opinion on the man who's won them 3 league titles. 4 days later, Arsenal scored 5 and advanced to the FA Cup semi-finals. That surely shut them up for a while. And by a while, I mean the 4 minutes it takes to walk outside of the stadium to conduct an interview.
Getting happy because they beat a Sunday lookalike team. That you shouldn't get happy because of that. My auntie would do a better job than him and she doesn't know anything about football.
In other Arsenal news, the Ox wants to leave. 9 goals in 122 games. Do you think it'll be a bit awkward when he's at the centre of a tug-of-war between West Brom and Stoke in late July? Moving on to the Premier League games, well, nothing much happened because no one really bothered their arse to turn up this week. Everton beat West Brom 3-0 in a game where Morgan Schneiderlin reminded everyone that he's in fact alive and well after spending 6 months locked in Mourinho's basement. In unrelated news, the police are still on the lookout for Bastian Schweinsteiger. Speaking of escapees from that cellar, Memphis Depay just scored from the halfway line before announcing that he wasn't David Beckham. Yeah, don't worry Memphis, I think we worked that one out for ourselves. Bournemouth beat West Ham courtesy of a Josh King hat-trick, despite doing their very best not to win the game via 2 missed penalties. Those penalties weren't the most embarrassing thing to occur during the game though. We'll reserve that for this social justice warrior who hasn't quite grasped the hashtags are reserved for Twitter and not to decorate a cardboard placard, trying to exonerate a man for stamping on an opponent's skull. Even though Tyrone Mings did use Zlatan's head as a treadmill, I would love if this crudely designed banner was the reason that his 5-game ban got reduced. Hull City beat Swansea to take themselves within 3 points of the Swans and just 1 point off safety. Marco Silva, who I'm quite convinced was the lead in Bruges, has lost just 3 games since taking over in January. I can't quite remember. Was there much opposition to when he took over from Mike Phelan? Can't remember.
Why has it always got to be a foreign manager? What is this geezer any different to Gary Rowlett? What's he know about the Premier League?
Paul, just stop talking.
He's not got a clue. He's the manna from heaven to be given this job on his CV.
Oh, Jesus.
It's another slap in the face to all our British
Thank
coaches
you.
and managers. And what they have done to make this appointment for 6 months is just embarrassing.
Oh, make it stop. Make it stop. Liverpool beat Burnley in a game where Sean Dyche bemoaned a lack of luck. Sean, you haven't won a single away game all season. Ladies and gentlemen, who are we kidding? Gentlemen, Vincent Janssen just scored from open play for the first time this season.
It's about fucking time, right?
Alright, it was against a League One side, and Spurs were already 5-0 up, and everybody's reaction was of mild disbelief that a 20 million striker was actually able to put the ball in the net. Is it going to be enough to save him from getting the boot this summer? Absolutely not. He's been Matthias Kezman levels of awful. But at least we all know he can score more than just a penalty. It was a cup game against Millwall, a tie where both sets of fans turned up in good spirits and will grab a pint afterwards like nice, friendly London neighbours. Oh wait, no, they'd spend about 3 hours calling each other wankers instead. Just look at this clip. The amount of no fucks given is unbelievable. 2 Spurs fans singing that they hate Millwall is like me poking a lion with a rusty stick. This man looks behind him, sees the police van, and still gives the carolers a smack. I mean, I wonder if he was one of the lads who racially abused Song Hung Min during the game. He had the last laugh anyway, scoring a hat-trick, while the Millwall fans went home to stamp on a few kittens or whatever they do in their spare time. Man City beat Borough 2-0 in the cup, where Aitor Kranka's men yet again failed to score, and City even had Claudio Bravo in goal. Come on Aitor, that's like playing tennis with the net down. Up in Scotland, Clint Hill, a man who looks like he should be playing in a retirement league, scored a late equaliser in the Old Firm derby to reduce Celtic's lead to 25 points. Yeah, it's going right to the wire, that one. In the Championship, Alex Neil is finally being sacked by Norwich after grumbling his way through the last 9 months of the season. And Steve McClaren has also lost his job, being sacked by Derby for about the 5th time. Apparently Alan Pardew was keen on the Norwich job, but I'm confused. I thought he was too busy turning down the England job every 6 weeks, no? Despite the fact that no one ever actually offers him the damn job. At the top of the league, Newcastle lost 3-1 to Fulham and were torn apart by a kid who was 2 weeks old when Euro 2000 kicked off. Fuck me, I'm getting old. Alright lads, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a share, and I'll talk to you in a while.